Welcome, Nation. You're listening to episode, 24 of Rogue Nation. 23?
No, I think you're right, 24. 22.
22. I was too off. I'm sorry.
Feels
so
longer.
You're listening to episode 22 of Rogue Nation. Tonight, we got the whole band here. We got Kevin to the core.
Yo.
Got Heel Hunter Joe.
What's up?
Welcome back.
Lower that AC.
And let's get lower. Got Just George.
I'm so hot. Don't lower it past 50.
And of course,
78.
Of course, me, Big Man Justin. So tonight we're going to have we're going to kind of jump around here a little bit. We're going to start tonight with some pop news that we didn't get to last week because our pop man wasn't here.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Well, it's good because this week we got
more info.
Bombard.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk about the Disney Haunted Mansion pops. I just made a pilgrimage to Disney World to go get the Madame Leota exclusive for me and Joe.
Thank you, sir.
And really, this one really wasn't that hard. I've seen it harder, so I was actually pleased that it wasn't that hard. Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be a barn burner.
But it really, when I was there, like I said, I was there at 1:00 or 12:30, and when I got there was still some left, and you know, it really wasn't that big of a deal. So I've been there, like I've set people up, and they've gotten there at 10:00, and shit's gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like the last big one was the Ezra in the Doom buggy for the ride, for the How to Mention ride. I set Rachel, my wife, up for that one. She got there at 11. She said they're all gone. Yeah. There were people walking out with like bags of 10 because they limit you to 10. So people were buying the full 10.
Right. Limit you to 10. That's kind of unreasonable.
But then what's worse is people bring 2 kids with them and say, "I need 10. This little girl here needs 10.
What?
And then who's paying? He's paying. So
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they give it to you.
That's really unreasonable.
I can understand the 10 limit. The 10 limit makes sense to me because
right.
Otherwise, if you limit it to 2, then that motherfucker is going to bring 20 of his best friends to buy 2, 2, and 2.
Correct.
If you limit it to 10, it's just one guy coming to buy all 10.
Right. They shouldn't limit it by person. It should be limited per transaction. So,
no,
like the case of what Joe just said, father, daughter, and son, it's not 10 per person. It's just going to be 10 no matter what.
It's funny you mention that.
You can do different transactions.
2 years ago, I was at Disney, and Joe called me. I was staying at a hotel, and he's like, "You need to go over to the Florida Mall, and you need to go to Hot Topic. They're releasing the Elvira chases." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So I went. It was the Elvira chase, right?
I believe so. Right?
Yeah,
right? The glow in the dark one.
Yeah,
right.
So I went.
Isn't that the big tit vampire chick?
No, because I know he liked horror. And I was giving you the heads.
Yeah. So I go over to the Hot Topic. I get there 2 hours before the Hot Topic opens, and I'm like, "All right." So we wait, and I make friends with people in line. It's going great. Store opens. Motherfucker, 2 people in front of me walks up to the front. He's got his wife and he's got a baby. I'm not even like a 5-year-old. I'm talking an infant here.
Like
Bro.
And he's like, "I need 1," because they're limiting them 1 per person. My wife needs 1, and my little daughter in the thing is going to get 1 too. And they're like, no, you can't. And he fucking argued with them until they gave it to him.
What the fuck?
That's how people are. It's like you need. They're trying to explain to him. It's like it's per transaction. So if the little does your little daughter have money because she's gonna have to pay? Well, I'm gonna pay for all of them. Well, then it's 1 transaction. And he argued with them until they gave it to him.
What?
Yep. That's how it works in retail, Kevin. I know you haven't
because they know the next step is, well, I'm going to call corporate, and corporate's going to be like, you should have just given it to them.
Or I'm going to blast you on social media, and that's just the worst.
Jesus,
yep.
I could feel the white privilege in that story.
That ain't about white privilege.
The comb over.
He was white, as a matter of fact.
Of course he was. Of course
I was hoping
he
wasn't, but
homeboy from Hialeah is not fighting to get fucking pops.
You'd be surprised, sir. We've been some.
He was a little white trashy too.
Yeah, of course.
Got the wife beater on
with
under his shirt, but yeah, he did have it. But I mean, even the woman in front of me who I'd made friends with was sitting there going, "This motherfucker."
I'm sure everyone was thinking that who saw it.
Because there's like he took 3.
Yeah,
it's like that could have been one of them would have been mine if he had to take it.
Correct.
And I'm not that big. Like I was pissed for Joe. But I wasn't like, shit. I'm like, man, fucking shit happens. We tried.
Yeah.
But the woman in front of me was like, "This son of a bitch, I can't believe you fucking let him do it." And I was just like, alright, whatever.
I mean, I see it as other collectibles that have been around longer. Let's say shoes is a perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
You go to like Foot Locker or any of those places. And it's not even about like transactions or anything. It's like you're one person, you're paying. It doesn't matter if you have 10 of your friends and you're paying for them. You can't do that. It's one person, your card, your one transaction. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have cash and you bring 10 of your friends and you give all your friends cash to buy it for you, then that's different story. Right. But it takes more effort to have your friends come with you than just walking in and being like, oh, I need 3 for my, one for my infant or 10, like at Disney.
When they released the first iPad, this was back in my standing in line in Apple days. When I used to, on release day when the new iPhones used to come out, I used to go down to the Galleria and stand in line to get my 5.
You were one of those guys.
People. Yes, I was. And when the iPads came out, was the first time, I think it was the iPhone 4. So the first redesign, major redesign of the phone. So everybody wanted it.
Right.
So I don't know if you remember how the Galleria works, but the line was like all the way out into the parking garage.
Galleria? Is this in Aventura?
No, up in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh.
Galleria off of Sunrise Boulevard.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah, that's the bigger one.
It's the second story mall. Everything's up on the second story.
Never seen it, but
it's the closest Apple store aside from Aventura.
Well, now the Aventura one is a bigger store.
Yes, it is.
They reconstruct.
Yeah,
new place.
I was standing in line. I stood in line for 5 hours.
God damn,
that's not bad.
I was late for work because of that phone. So I'm standing in line, and people were coming in, and they were limiting iPads to 2 per person, and people were bringing every friend they knew. Because it wasn't just like, I need to have it. They knew they could sell them online for make double their money.
Double or 5 times?
Yeah.
Because they were releasing like November, and for Christmas, everyone needs to
But it was not only that, but America and like 2 other countries were the ones to go.
Right.
So Croatia and all those other places that wanted them didn't have them, so you could easily.
Fuck.
I remember white people walking out of there, groups of 6 people, all of them had 2 iPads on their back in those bags, man. Every one of them.
And everyone had a taser because, people get robbed.
Yeah.
Speaking of lining up, it'll be a Target 3-pack.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Kevin and George.
What is it?
This is the Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion, the 3 Hitchhiking Ghosts. They're all in blue chrome.
People will literally fight over this.
Mm-hmm. Bro,
I already see it.
That's cool, but it's not that cool. I'm not going to fight someone for that.
Oh, they're going to fight.
That's crazy.
But that's not the only one, too, because the Madame Leota that we have, that's basically the special edition because it glows in the dark. There's a regular comment of that one that's coming out. Because there's 4 other comments that we still don't know where they're going to release because they announced them, and then they pulled it back and said, we don't know where they're going to release.
Right, we don't know.
And then there's 2 exclusives. One's for Hot Topic, and where's the other one for?
Box Lunch.
Box Lunch. And the Hot Topic one, I think, is you obviously you're a Disney fan, so you've ridden the ride. You remember the shaking guy with the dog as you're coming around the corner?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the pops they're doing. That's the Hot Topic.
Does it include the dog?
Yep.
Nice. All right.
That's the Box Lunch one.
That's Box Lunch one.
The Hot Topic one is the dude with the pirate hat with the.
The opera singer?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what that was.
Hold on. God damn it. Where is it? But yeah, it's another ghost. It's a guy ghost.
And then the last thing they're doing is they're doing a 10-inch pop of Ezra, the Hitchhiking Ghost. So
right, at Target.
Yeah.
That one's going to sit. I don't think anybody's going to...
Yeah.
Well, maybe. No, maybe.
It'll probably
go. So.
The way people were going nuts this weekend for the Haunted Mansion merchandise.
Oh, yes.
Because that was the bigger draw at Disney this last weekend was the Haunted Mansion merchandise.
I want to go again. Well, probably next weekend to try to get those jars. Because I heard that was going crazy.
The line around the Memento Mori?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Around, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. This one, sorry. That's the Hot Topic one.
Okay. Oh, okay, the pirate hat.
Yeah.
I wasn't understanding what you meant.
This is the Target 10-inch one. So it's that tall. It's that big.
That's big as fuck.
And if you remember the last bunch of Haunted Mansion pops they did all 4, which were all the Hitchhiking Ghosts plus the Hatbox Ghost.
Right.
And those now sell for like $300 for the set, if not more.
If more,
yeah.
I think each one goes for like almost $200 or $200.
And I found them when I went there, and I bought them for Sam. I remember bringing them back for him. I should have bought a set for me. I didn't even think about it.
Name we haven't heard in a while.
Technically, you are getting a set, just in a different color. It's the same pops.
Yeah,
the chrome ones.
Yeah, I know, but to have those original ones, be like, I have these.
That's crazy, man. Well, pop is life.
Pop is life.
You know?
And let me tell you, that Target is gonna be
That should be a hashtag. Pop is life.
Pop is
I'm
life.
sure it's somebody's
Let's
hashtag.
start it right now.
You should search it on Instagram, see what comes up.
Nah, I would search that like on Twitter, and you get all the videos of all the bras on the
Oh,
sites.
yeah. They're great.
So, George, you picked up a pop. What did you pick up?
So, I actually, because I do enjoy the Dark Knight's metal Batmans, I grabbed the Red Death Batman, which is a fusion of Bruce Wayne and Flash. For those who don't know, he straps him onto his Batmobile, enters the Speed Force, and merges with him.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a savage origin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think out of all of them, that one was the most savage.
Yeah.
Even though, Batman Who Laughs became more popular,
Right.
or Dawnbreaker, the Green Lantern.
And he's
that
like
was interesting.
legit canon because he's like now in the main universe.
Well,
Yeah.
he's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of like the Harley of our age, man. He spun out and became the commodity.
Exactly. I mean, he's going into the new year of the villain stuff that's going on. He's a part of that, and that's like the whole
Well, I mean,
DC event.
he's the ultimate. He's like, what happens if you cross the Joker with Batman? What do you get? You get that. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And he's demented.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like it. It has a lot of detail
This
on
is
it.
Red Death.
Yeah, for Red Death.
Yeah.
It has a lot of detail on it. It even has like the red little lightning coming off his feet.
It's cool. Dante, even the packaging is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, all black with the
Yeah.
gold letter because it's for the Batman 80 years.
80th year.
80th year anniversary.
Yeah, all the
Damn,
Batman
man.
pops will be in that black shaded box.
Mhm.
Yes, it's super nice. I'll make sure to put up pictures on the Instagram for it. But
Are you gonna get
Rogue
the Val
Nation
Kilmer
pop?
pop? You gonna
No.
get the Val Kilmer pop?
thinking about it,
Because,
I've been trying to hold back on purchasing pops.
I mean,
I know George will want the George Clooney one with the bat nips.
can you imagine George Clooney is in this TV show too?
And the
They
Crisis
bring-
on Infinite
Oh
Earths.
my
Oh,
god!
the Arrowverse
stop.
show.
Stop! I'll stop.
He just comes in and buys something with the card and leaves.
Mhm.
That's it. That's his
What?
cameo.
Oh my
He
god,
walks off.
that stupid card.
Hey, it was dope.
The Bat credit card?
Background. Never leave the Batcave without.
But he's wearing a shirt with hard nipples
Yeah.
on the shirt, like
Yeah,
printed on the shirt.
On the shirt.
On the shirt, like printed. Oh my god! Like an.
I always love all the memes when a new Batman gets chosen, and it's always like George Clooney like don't let them give you bad news.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing meme that's always constant since him.
It's the truth, man. Move us along, Justin.
Okay, so moving past toys, I think we're gonna go right into comics right now. We're gonna save the one we want to talk about for last. So, Kevin, what do you wanna talk about from what you read?
I just want to talk about some two cool tidbits of stuff that I read. I read a fuck ton of books, so I just want to talk about maybe just two really important ones, which were DC books, which is awesome because we've all been on this like Marvel tangent that we've all been on.
Mm-hmm.
I read Batman 76, which is City of Bane Part 2, and I read DC's number 4. Batman 76 is just continuing the City of Bane, so all the villains are running Gotham. You get a little bit more of what's going on with the outside world. All of the Bat family is outside Gotham, and they've been told Alfred is held hostage. If any of the Bat family, anyone in the Bat family sets even a foot in Gotham, Alfred dies.
Move.
So that's what's keeping the Bat family at bay.
Right.
The only ones that you see are Damian and Tim, and they're angry at each other because, they're like, what the fuck do we do? Damian is mad, and he's like, we have to do something. And Tim is like, I don't know what we can do. We have to think of him. And you figure out that it's Alfred. But I like the beginning, middle, and then end of the book. It's a brawl between Captain Atom fighting Gotham Girl. And then she's become so powerful that she could take on his, because the Gotham Girl's power is she emits the same kinetic energy that she takes, and then she gets more powerful as she uses her power. But she also, it could also get worn out and gets her closer to dying. Mm-hmm. So the more she uses it, the stronger she gets, the closer she gets to dying.
Oh.
So she's fighting Captain Atom and winning.
Right.
And
But
knocks
she's
him out, and then she gets the call from the other Batman who's chasing, and it's really funny. He's chasing villains out of Arkham, the ones that did not side with Bane. And it's Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Scarecrow, and Kite Man.
So the C-list.
Yeah, so Tweedledum gets shot and killed by the Batman, Thomas Wayne. Because he's the Batman of this Gotham, of the city of Bane. He's chasing Tweedledee, Scarecrow, and Kite Man. Kite Man helps them by creating a giant kite and they float off. But then they're too heavy because of Tweedledee. So then Scarecrow releases the fear toxin and makes him afraid of heights. So he lets go out of fear and dies, falls to his death. And I'm like, this is just so strange. So then they end up, so Scarecrow and Kite Man end up to the Kite Man headquarters. Bro, it's so good. To me, it's the best part of the book besides the fight with Gotham Girl and Captain Atom. Because then even Scarecrow is trying to get out of him of what is your deal? He's really fascinated with Kite Man. And he goes, so are we safe here? And he goes, this is the Kite Man headquarters. Of course we're not safe in here.
He knows.
And he's just he gets to, and everything is kite shaped. There's just random kites just piled like a hoarder. And he goes to a kite-shaped window looking out and he puts his arm on the glass, that meme of Kermit, the sad Kermit meme.
Yeah.
And then he just well, what if I have a role in this? Maybe I could be a good guy. Do something heroic. And the moment he comes to that realization that maybe he could go out and find the real Batman, fucking Thomas Wayne Batman barges through the fucking window with a batarang to his fucking forehead. And you're like, oh, well, there goes Kite Man.
Right.
But to me, it was such a good book, and you learn of that, of the Gotham Girl's fucking crazy powerful, more powerful than Captain Atom, and she literally tosses him out. The rule is, villains get taken out. Villains, and their definition is villains get brought in. If they don't get brought in, they get taken out. And then heroes get brought out. So they kick out the heroes. They don't kill the heroes. But they kill the villains that don't side with Bane. And then the Bat family is, like I said in the beginning, they're kicked out of Gotham and how Alfred is their, leverage.
Yeah.
And with DC's number 4, I thought it was so funny of reading Batman 76 and Captain Atom is on it. And then Captain Atom is also in DC's, number 4, where it's the government's, token missile, nuclear option. That's actually the title of number 4 DC's. It's their nuclear option to fight this, techno virus thing. So what happens? He was around a zombie that Ray Palmer went into to figure out what the virus was. Ray Palmer never came out. So Waller's look, go fucking take care of the source of this, go to the most populated areas and start, blasting these zombies away. So as he's doing that and in the middle of DC, he starts there, he starts turning. And then you see the panels zooming in and it's zombified, infected Ray Palmer inside Captain Atom.
Oh.
Bro, that was, to me, was so fucking cool. So he starts having nuclear blasts and just annihilating whole cities. And he's just going around the country doing that. While Lois Lane is emitting a really analog radio broadcast that's of course it's not internet.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone with analog can pick it up with her. She says any hero still alive, not infected, come to the Daily Planet. Come to the Daily Planet, yeah. I was gonna say the wrong one. Come to the Daily Planet so we can regroup some of the Justice League are here or whatever. Giganta shows up. Fucking giant zombie Giganta attacks. It is so funny how how much fun I'm having with this, but it's still really emotional because when Superman, just before Giganta attacks, Superman arrived with Ma Kent and Jonathan was there with Lois Lane, and Jonathan's "Oh, Grandpa," and they're no, he didn't make it. So they all cried out and hug it out. And it's dude, and even Damien joins. And it's really sad. Wow. And then Damien is don't worry, Father will get here, he'll know what to do. So then when Giganta's attacking, you see the Batwing come. The Batwing come. Attack, she grabs the Batwing, I think Superman. Yeah, Superman distracts her, so they save the Batwing. Wonder Woman catches it, whatever. Damien goes to the Batwing. He goes, "Father, like you're finally here," and it's just Alfred, and he breaks it to him. He goes, "I'm so sorry, Master Damien, but he didn't make it. It's up to you." And he gives him a cow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he says the one thing he regret is he's so proud of you, and he never got to tell you.
Oh, wow.
Dude, to me, it was such a heartfelt moment in this, like, really ridiculous issue.
Who's writing this book?
Tom Taylor.
Screw it. That was emotional.
I tweeted at him, I'm like, dude, fuck you for making me emotional during a zombie book.
A meme book.
Yeah.
God.
So then, they take down Big Barda. God damn it. Giganta. And then Wonder Woman stops Superman. He goes, wait, what if we could save them? They're just infected. Maybe, she's still alive. We could save them if we figure out the cure with her. Immediately her head gets like blown up with a giant hole and it's Cyborg half infected. Which is where the Technovirus started. But he has control of the virus in him. And he's like, okay, this is the source. It was my fault. This and that, whatever. So it seems like they start to kind of like regroup to have a plan. And, I forgot who it was that brings the news of what Captain Atom is doing. I think it's Black Canary who was turned into the Green Lantern.
Mm.
And then she flies off with Superman. Man, I can't remember who came to tell him about Captain Atom now. I don't know why. But they're seeing the explosions from afar because he's getting closer to Metropolis. And then he just, the infected Ray Palmer rips his heart out. The heart of Captain Atom. And Captain Atom just explodes. And you just see, it just encompasses most of, the farm, the Kent farm, and just wipes out Metropolis, including the Daily Planet. So anyone that was there died, or let's say, maybe, my theory is Superman came really fast and saved everyone, or maybe didn't get
as much as he could.
Right, it didn't get to everyone. Or maybe, hopefully, Black Canary, Green Lantern, Green Canary? They haven't, like, called her something yet.
Yeah, Green Canary.
Yeah, so Green Canary, maybe she would have helped. I really don't know. But to me, bro, this book has been so much fun, emotional, it's been crazy. And yeah, that's Tom Taylor doing Deceased.
Wow.
And the art's good. Yeah, it's really, really good. I can't remember.
Covers are always amazing.
The covers are awesome. But yeah, those are the two DC books I read. Also read other stuff, but nothing much of notes. But I know the main book all of us want to get to.
Yes, we want to get to House of X #2, Game Changer.
One of the red issues in Tom King's little infographic. And
This book redefines, or rewrites, I guess you could say,
X-Men canon.
And it turns pretty much everything that happens to the X-Men as part of Moira McTaggart's lives, which I think is amazing. Because she was never a mutant. They retconned her into a mutant. And they've made it that her mutant power is reincarnation.
So good.
Yeah. And the fact that every time she dies, she relives her, she goes back to the womb and then relives her life again. And every time...
Not relives, she
has her own memories.
Yes, with all of her memories intact.
yeah, she can choose her path.
Yeah. Because the first one was her first life was very non-eventful.
Well, yeah, she died from the fever.
Yeah, she met a boy, her husband, had 3 kids, and died.
And that's it.
But when she came back, she knew everything she knew before. Right. So this time around, she knew that she couldn't marry the same guy because, once you found him and you know everything about him, the thrill is gone.
No, I like the way she explains it, of like, all of your ups and downs throughout the relationship.
Yeah.
So you preemptively already know the flaws. So it's like, that's not love.
Yeah.
Not the part of the love is the self-discovery with each other. And she's like, that was lost.
So she remained single the second time. She figured out that she could be, if she remained passive, things would happen just like the first time. But if she became an active participant, she could change the way her life went. But that was before. But they also said that was before she realized that just by her knowing what she knew, she was already changing things.
Yeah.
So, and then I loved how in one of her lives she said she went to go find Xavier, but found him to be arrogant with a god complex, so she left him alone.
Yeah.
But then after the run-in with Mystique in and Destiny, who we, like you said, we haven't seen since.
I believe that was life number 3.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
No, Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Before that.
Because she was tied with. She's always been tied with.
She was her lover or whatever, and
Yeah.
then who killed her?
Pyro. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No,
who killed her?
Pyro's her son.
Yeah.
No, Xavier's son killed her.
Legion.
Legion killed
Yeah.
her, and then Mystique went and killed Legion.
Yeah.
That's
So
old.
Revenge.
Old.
So they come in because she had found a cure for mutation, and they came in and they said, "Look, you can't do this. You're going to exterminate our race." He's like, "Look, I'm just offering it to people who want it. I'm not forcing it." He's like, "Do you really
Right.
think it's going to stay that way?
Right.
They're going to come in and they're going to force you to make it for people who don't want it."
Right.
So but I love the idea that Destiny's like, well, now that I know who you are, our lives are now intertwined. So the moment you decide if you live again, and the moment you decide to move down this path, I'm going to know about it,
Yeah.
and we're going to go down this road again.
But I like how she told her, Destiny is like, it's not that you're immortal. I only see about 11 more futures.
Well, she says 10, maybe 11.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
The way it depends on how you go by it.
Yeah.
Then you'll get the 11.
I like how she gives us that rule of if you die before your mutant powers manifest
Yeah,
during
13,
puberty,
yeah.
you're not coming
you just
back.
Die, yeah.
which is, it leaves a nice
And-
open area.
But then I love
It's a nice little plot device that we already know Hickman is seeping in there and might use.
yeah.
But I also like how she makes Pyro kill her. But it's like, do it slow so she remembers this.
Oof, so slow.
Dude, that was so savage. I love that scene.
Yeah.
So in the third life,
No, that was
But that
third.
was third.
okay. So in the fourth life, she decides to go after Xavier.
They have a nice little relationship.
And then that becomes the first storyline of...
Is that the one that she goes straight to him at 13?
No. That's the next one, I think.
Actually,
I have it here. I can pull up the...
No. She
the
goes to him
timelines.
and he
Yeah, there's one that at 13 she goes straight to him. Uses like her parents' funds.
read my mind. She tells him to read his mind.
Well,
Her
but-
mind.
no.
Right,
That's
but this is
the
the
last
first time she tells him to read her mind when she's 13.
Right. That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying.
right.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
And then he sees everything and he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, but that becomes the original X-Men storyline.
Right.
That's year 5. That's life 5.
Life 5. So what's
Right.
life 4?
Life 4 is... that's when she enrolls in Oxford.
Right. She tries to
And-
become... She gets all this genetic...
Yeah, she does the research. She institutes
Right.
the mutant gene. Yeah. So the mutant... Her
Right, and that's when
research and
Mystique...
everything. And Mystique kills her in Destiny.
Right.
So what happened 2 and 3? 102 she was just observant. So what was the third one? That we just said the wrong one.
Well, no.
She dies in a plane crash.
Correct.
When
Oh,
she
that's
gets
On the
fly
way
over.
to Xavier.
Yeah, that's
On the
right,
way
that's
to
right.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that one was so non-eventful. It kind of throws
Right,
you off, but
right,
it's a wasted life. You only
Yeah,
have so many lives
man.
to relive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then the fourth one is what Justin just said.
Right. The fifth was Magneto.
No, the fifth one, he just said the fifth one was...
The fifth one is when she
13
decides
and
to-
she goes straight to him.
Yeah.
Okay. The sixth one, this is kind of the spoiler for the end. The sixth one we don't know
Yeah,
because it's not on there.
It's red.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Really?
Does, he
Yeah.
does, yeah, he
The
Oh,
does.
you didn't
sixth-
notice that?
Yeah,
He always
the sixth
does
life
that.
doesn't
He hides-
exist.
he
It's
hides
literally
stuff in-
missing the timeline.
Right.
It's
It's
not
red.
There's a gap.
5, 7. Holy
We
shit.
don't know what she did during her sixth
Yeah,
life.
he does the Hickman.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us more abundance of information, but withhold something.
Right.
There's a
So
hole.
in the seventh life, she goes after Magneto.
Right. To Magneto.
And then she goes...
Dude, I'd love that splash page of her going to him and
Mhm.
him
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, on that throne, it looks so good, bro.
And he's furious.
Yeah, when she tells him everything.
Does not give a fuck. Well, to be expected. Magneto doesn't...
Fuck yeah.
He doesn't care about the humans.
Considering the pages here, I think we went out of order.
Okay, so then she goes after Trask next then.
Trask is next.
Correct, because the Sentinels, and she feels
Yeah.
that if she kills everyone in his family, the Sentinels won't be built.
Yeah, but she finds out that artificial
Humans-
intelligence is not something that can be destroyed. It's something waiting to be born.
Right, humans are going to build it
Discoveries.
anyway.
Yeah, so that
It's like
even
fire,
if
I
they
love
kill
it.
all the Trask, it still gets
Right,
made.
'cause
and then
humans
she
still-
dies on the rate when she figures out
Right.
the Master Mold is still being built.
Right, correct.
And she
sorry.
dies in that. So
Right.
that's when she goes after Magneto is in the next life.
Which is 7
Yeah.
or 8.
8.
Yeah.
Because then 9 is she goes straight to Apocalypse.
It's like Apocalypse,
To
and
her,
that forms the Age of Apocalypse life.
Correct.
And that's where that happened.
How crazy! How already on that line? How crazy that is a canonical Marvel timeline, and it's one of her lives.
Yes.
How fucking insane is
this
that?
whole rewriting of this history is amazing. Is perfect for me. I love it. I think this is a great way to explain away how all these things can happen. But it also answers the one question you had, which is, this happens in 10 years?
Right.
How can all of the Marvel history happen in 10 years? Well, there you go. It was all a different life. I think that's such a great answer.
What I like he did here is every book, every story that there
Every major arc.
It's humans hate us. Magneto wants to kill humans. We're stuck fighting.
Yeah, it's the same basics.
It's always the same shit. Over and over with
And
the
it makes sense
X-Men.
because it just happens.
Here, he broke it.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still the same in a certain way, too. Because it's always humans against mutants, but
he's changing it.
She's the one that she's manipulating all the events
to try to make it better.
to try to make it better for mutants. And it just keeps kind of coming out in the wash, you know? Because even with Apocalypse, even by going to Apocalypse and telling him everything and saying, this is what you need to do, and that becoming the Age of Apocalypse, it still doesn't work.
Right.
You know? And that's
Actually,
why...
no. That's the one line that when it continues and it says, like, important events depending on her age, the Age of Apocalypse one, it's just like a war for years.
Yeah.
Forever.
It doesn't end. It just says, she's 42 years old, Apocalypse War begins, and then it just dots off.
Yeah, and it just continues. Right, so I imagine that is literally her fighting for the rest of her life. And that's why she's
into her
fuck
60s.
this.
It doesn't work for her.
Right.
So the next life, the 10th life, which remember, she said you have 10, possibly
maybe
11.
Right.
The 10th one is the one we're at now.
Right.
Where she goes to Xavier and she's like, do I know you? Or they're on the bench. She's like, do I know you? She's, well, I know you.
Right.
And that one includes her marrying Joseph McTaggart and giving birth to Proteus.
Right. So that's the one we know.
Yes. So that's the one I was like, because when in the first life when it was like, oh, she had kids, I'm like, well, where's Proteus?
Right.
Proteus should be one of her children. I didn't realize
And
she
Banshee.
wasn't McTaggart
Yeah.
at that. No, she was not a kid. Banshee was her lover.
No, Banshee was the husband. It's like, wait, husband, what? Which husband? What husband? And
well,
exactly
she married.
this one.
Well, Proteus is her McTaggart's kid.
Right.
Banshee's not McTaggart. Banshee's after McTaggart.
Oh, even after that, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because Banshee's real name is Sean McGuire, I think, or something like that.
Yes.
So, but this is the one we're at now. Is the 10th life. But the thing I think is interesting is I got to the whole end of that book, and then it was like I had to read somewhere else that the 6th life was missing. And I was like, I didn't even read like you.
No,
When I saw the infograph, I was like,
but even still, I mean, it's written in such a way that
I just thought it was 5 and 5.
No, I saw the gap. I'm like, why is there a gap? And
I just thought it was 5 and 5. I didn't think anything much about it.
So we're left to wonder what X-Men history happened in the 6th life. You know?
House of M.
And
the House of M was
the
the
Magneto
Magneto
storyline.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting.
No, Ghost under the Mirror appears. Like always late.
But one thing I did want to bring up, and I didn't want to mention before the podcast, was that there are actually, you guys may have seen the article, things have been said of Hickman plagiarizing another author.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because he has praised another book by this female author. Let me pull up the article while I'm talking about it. That she does, it's the lives of so-and-so, and it's the 15 lives of this one character that he just reincarnates over and over again. And he praised the book and everything, so people are jumping on that to be like, hey, you plagiarized her book.
How would I say plagiarize? I say he took the same idea.
Had the same idea.
Exactly. But, people like to hop on.
Plenty of stories have done that.
Correct.
What? Like Days of Future Past is the same thing as Terminator?
Right. Yeah, technically.
You get me? Like, it doesn't matter. It's just, you're taking a trope.
So it's author Claire North, and it was the book, the first 15 lives of Harry August.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like an interesting book, but Hickman actually responds to it all, and he's like, hey, this was one of the very many books that I was reading when the idea for what I was doing for X-Men came up. But that doesn't mean that I'm plagiarizing her. It's just
I took
the power. It's an ability. And I really, really liked it. That's why he was interviewed later on. He's like, that's why I praised the book. Because it was so good, and it spawned this idea in me. So it's this very weird way to interpret, plagiarism versus inspiration, and if you're changing it enough for it to be tangible.
It seems like right here there's a fine line between plagiarism and inspiration.
Yeah.
It seems more like inspiration.
Yeah, of course.
I love who he chose.
The fact that it's boring.
Yeah.
Someone that none of us would have thought.
Because
Exactly.
anybody else,
Nobody.
you would have had to retcon history. She's got such
been
a
a part of
small history within the X-Men, big but small, that you could play. She's one of the few characters that you can actually play with, and you don't have to change.
And you'll get this outrage. Yeah.
But they didn't have to delete anything with her too because they still include Proteus.
Correct. Right.
I love, besides the Magneto splash page, of course, I love the Apocalypse splash page of her going like to him and then him standing there with all the Egyptian shit. Oh my god, it's so cool, man.
I love how he's like,
dude, her standing next to him with Surrounded by Fire. That's awesome.
And then the fact that she's got an A belt just like he does.
Yeah, she looks like a mini version of Apocalypse with the same little tubes and everything.
And they even say in there that they go and they free the Horseman.
Early,
yeah.
I love how he's like, because he could smash the humans out, but he's like, I want to test them. Like, he wants them to beat him.
Right. He wants only the
survival of the fittest.
Right.
Survive.
He's like, if they beat me, whatever, but I want to be tested. I want to adapt.
Right.
Because he could easily just mow down fucking people. It doesn't matter. But Apocalypse is so good.
But that's why when you get to the timeline, the war is so long.
Right, because he's like,
dude, the war, I think if you look at the timelines again, George, the war outlasts, like, all her other timelines.
Even this current life. It goes off to infinity.
Right.
So
that's right, because if she's, let's say, half mech or somewhat like Apocalypse, she probably doesn't even die of natural causes.
Yeah, because Apocalypse can, grant certain special abilities.
Right.
The only one that comes close to it.
Dude, imagine what it took to kill her.
So her first life ends at 74 years old, and then her current life, which is the start of House of X, she's 52, and it has the same dashes because the story hasn't been written yet. But for the War of Apocalypse, it goes on beyond.
Yeah.
It just goes off to the edge of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
because he's testing the humans.
Nice.
Yeah,
because he could. Yeah,
and that's not a life I guess she considered, okay to live.
Yeah, because the very next thing she goes back to Xavier,
and she tells him everything.
Yeah. To get him ready for this new
So
thing.
my theory with George that I want to tell you guys here on the show is I think so back to the reading guide, only 3 books are labeled or highlighted in red. My theory versus some other theories, the red does not mean that they're pivotal ones. I think all the red ones are us going to be playing catch up with Moira's lives.
Or maybe it'll deal with life number 6.
I hope so. The other 2.
Right. No, he'll explain it because he left it blank for a reason.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to it though. It's so awesome.
Everything else was so cool. I mean, what possibly can happen that he doesn't want us to know?
For real, that one lifetime where she's an assassin killing all the Trask family.
Fucking awesome.
It's so cool.
It's the movie universe.
Yeah.
Never
It's the John Wick.
John. Anyway,
but yeah,
X-Men's killing it.
So that was what, House of X number 2.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we get
Powers of X Powers of 10 number 2.
Right.
Yeah. Which that one's been an interesting read.
Oh, that's every book has become better than the last one.
Yeah.
Because at House of X number 1, I was like, this is good, and then Powers of X number 1 was just, I loved Powers of X.
Yeah.
And then this one was just like, whoa, I didn't even think that was possible. Right. So now I'm like, hopefully Powers of X number 2, Powers of 10 number 2 is just...
It's going to be good.
I was telling Kevin because people started saying it again. It's like, with House of X2, X-Men's changed everything. Kind of a tagline for the beginning of both of these books. And I'm really getting tired of people saying this about his books, but every time I read it, it's like, it's true.
Yeah.
It's stupid true.
He's doing, for all the things that have happened with the X-Men, this has been the most interesting thing that has happened in the last 20 years, 10 years.
Right.
It's right. To the point that you have to tell other people. It's like, you need to be on this book.
Because usually with X-Men books, by 5 you're like, okay. By issue 5 you're like,
well, to give you an example, my wife, she used to read X-Men books. That used to be the only thing she would read, and she's fallen off comics a long time ago. She hasn't been reading for years. But these books, I told her, I said, you should probably be reading. And I said, I'm going to pull them for you, and whenever you get a chance, just read through them. Because she was always, and she still is to this day, a huge X-Men fan. Favorite character, Storm. She loves the X-Men. She always bought all that shit. And she was the reason why I started reading X-Men, because up until I met her, I was always like, I like the other stuff, but I don't need to read X-Men. And then once I met her and started reading her books, I was just like, oh, X-Men became a big part of my reading library for a long time.
I love X-Men. It's good. Well, finally, people could be happy.
And I'm glad with the story, because every storyline that's kind of come out before has started nice, but just fizzled.
Right,
and some of them didn't even start nice; they just fizzled from the beginning.
Exactly.
You know, this one seems to be going. No, there's directions we can go, and then there's away from all the directions we can go. And that's where we're going.
There's multiple timelines and time lives that we could deal with.
But doesn't discount anything that's originally happened.
Yeah, like Age of Apocalypse.
Doesn't try to retcon it away, say, "Oh, that never happened." Or say, well, it didn't happen the way you thought it happened. It's saying, no, that shit happened. It just didn't happen. It happened concurrently to what we're happening now.
So then that begs the question, because of course I'm a time traveling aficionado of, like, I love that sci-fi concept so much. So when she dies and then she then reincarnates and then it's a new lifetime, what happens to that previous lifetime? The other beings of that life?
That's what I was wondering. Like, how can she marry the same guy? If she died, that guy had to have died too. He cannot be reincarnated.
She's reliving her life.
It's like the universe starts with her.
Oh,
she's traveling back in time.
She goes back to her birth and lives her life again. It's just she has all the memories. So that guy still exists. It's just
Tom Cruise movie where he keeps dying.
Right. Exactly. Think of that, but instead of restarting the day, she
restarts her life.
It's restarting the entire life. So you're born, and you already know how to read, write, fucking walk, talk, drive.
Well, she mentioned she has to spend 6 to 9 months.
True.
And she even goes on to say, it's like you would think that would be maddening for somebody with the memories, but being in the womb is being home.
Right.
So she,
Mortal Kombat did that.
Well, someone relives the entire life?
Yep.
Well, the thing that kind of boggled my mind was
Shang Tsung, right?
like
no, the
she had moments
where...
Hey,
no side tangents, because then no one is hurt.
Sorry.
She had moments in her life where she was like, okay, I'm going to try to get it right the next time. Imagine dying and then having to live the first 24 years of your life again with the knowledge that I have to get it right this next time.
Right.
Like,
to me, that's the maddening part. But then the maddening part is like, hey, I just left off on a pretty cool life. What if that one would have gotten better after my death?
Or how about this? I mean...
You get me? The whole universe restarts with her? I find that fucking insane.
But how about this? I mean, even from just a pure, not even from an academic standpoint, but all the thrills are gone after the second or third life?
Right.
Because you no longer have this book is coming out, or this movie's coming out. Because you know it, and you've probably seen it. So, what do you have to look forward to?
The lottery.
Yeah,
I play that shit every day.
Damn, imagine.
But you got to remember that now too. It didn't say she had perfect recall. She just had her memories.
You could write it down somewhere and keep it in the box.
I would have spent one whole life.
How is she going to do that? She reliving her life again. Everything restarts.
Yeah, there's no way to do it. It's just you learn perfect recall.
I already know Hickman will probably answer that question in another book. Of what happens to those previous lifelines of those, because it has to be a question of what if a previous life did get better for mutants, and then she just restarted the universe.
No, I mean, looking at the timelines and everything, a lot of them, with a few exceptions, they end when she's old and she's already seen what the future is going to become. Because there are certain pivotal turning points where things happen, whether it's the Sentinels coming out, whether it's the Age of Apocalypse going on forever. The only one that I would say was her dying in the plane crash in her 40s. Right. Xavier. That one might have had a chance, but I mean,
we don't know.
She's not living in that life. She can only do what she's living in.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So what happens to that life?
There are other timelines. I mean, other multiverse stuff.
I don't know. I'm breaking my head over this, and I know Polly Hickman's going to answer it anyways.
And a simple answer that you're like, oh, that was simpler than I thought it would be.
Right.
What sucks is for everyone else on Earth dying with her, they don't remember their past life. They're just reliving again without knowing.
Right.
I'm just living again.
Oh, hey, mutant powers, man.
See, that's what happened in MK11. The main enemy, Chronica, she does that. Every time her plan fails, she resets time to the beginning, and it's not different timelines. She literally says, I have to start this all over, do this all again.
Wow.
And she says,
she's a master of time.
And then there's elements in this one because you're finally breaking the mold type of thing, and she's like, thousands of times I've done this, and you've never given me that answer. You know,
It's essentially writing what Hickman did for X-Men. They did for Mortal Kombat. They fixed all the timelines by saying, "Yeah, it all happened because she was turning back time." And there have been games that I played like that as well. Final Fantasy Type Zero.
But what I was getting to that was the fact that she went mad because of the fact that she's been doing this over and over and over again. And she's tired of doing it. And she's like, I want this to be the end. I'm going to end Raiden and these people. And of course, ultimately fails.
I mean, it's funny. Now think of it that way. Maybe, let's say, I'm applying that, applying Hickman. Maybe that could be Moira's endgame. Like, she just wants it to be the end. Yeah. And Destiny in the, second or third life told her, you have maybe 10 or 11 if you really push your limit.
Yeah, it's a roll of dice. But at least she knows there is an end. So she works towards something better, something different every time.
We already know that plot mechanic, that plot device of her dying too early will end it. Something about that is gonna come back.
And then again, we have Powers of 10, where we're shown the future, and things still continue without her.
Bro, what could be the sixth one? Like, I'm like breaking my mind over that.
Yeah, it's like what more X-Men stuff that's happened can he like throw in there? Because we have House of M, Age of Apocalypse, we have her hunting down the Trash family.
ABX?
You have ABX in there too.
What else major X-Men?
No. ABX was a part of one of her lifetimes.
Which one? Oh, yes.
That's what we're saying. ABX is in there.
So what other one that's not in here?
So, yeah, we already have that missing. I mean, I can't think... but then again, I don't have, like, the most aficionado X-Men knowledge.
I'm trying to remember.
What could be different? Well, what could be that sixth life? She goes off and hangs out with aliens for a while. She leaves Earth. She's tired of living.
Right, she's like, fuck it, I don't want to be on this planet anymore.
Yeah, she goes off with the Shi'ar Empire or something.
I mean, one of the lifetimes was that where the mutants became isolationists. In that bubble one. And then the Sentinels came in and just still bombed them anyways.
Oh, yeah, the thing of Far... I forgot what it was called.
What about Schism?
Schism probably still happens.
It's probably part of that time.
Yeah, the whole separation of Utopia.
Okay, let me look up Marks.
Oh, wait, did she go to Sinister ever?
Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone would resort to him.
Maybe that was life number 6.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Ooh, and that's like the crazy future one from Powers of 10.
Ooh.
Although I think the Powers of 10...
I think that's going on... Oh, yeah. We think it's going on
maybe
this lifetime.
Powers of 10 should be like off of this 10th one, I think. But then again, that could be the twist, is it's not.
Yeah. Just a whole other story to play games with. Well, that's where I'm throwing my money on. I'm going to say it's a Sinister thing that she went to.
She went to Mr. Sinister?
Yep.
Alright.
Either that or the movie universe.
No. Fucking Christ, no.
Damn, Joe, I think that's the loudest you've been this whole show.
No. Yeah. Bring up Fox or Michael Bay. That happens. Or Warner Bros.
Oh, The Sixth Life was a Michael Bay directed X-Men.
Oh, God.
I will walk out.
You'll set the book on fire?
I'll set the fucking comic book store on fire.
Jubilee doesn't even shoot fireworks, she just shoots explosions.
Yeah. No, she just explodes completely.
Oh,
she'll walk into the room and explode.
Gone.
Somehow walk out and be fine.
Right.
Jeez.
That's her power. Explosive decompression. Whatever. I don't know. Alright, well, I mean, that was House of X 2.
Yep.
It was absolutely fantastic.
So, moving on from comics, because that's the one we all wanted to talk about was that one. We're going to get into some TV now. We all finally saw The Boys. We all finally watched the entire season.
I finally saw it. I finally finished it.
Joe, you finished it too, right?
I'm on 7, but I'm good. Go ahead, spoil. I don't care. I'm on 7. I'm on 7.
I mean, 8 is.
I'm
really
on where they're against Starlight now, where they're like all ganging up on like, oh, you know your boyfriend.
Dude, that's not even 6.
That's 7.
That's 7.
I mean,
that's 7.
Where she's like, oh, you're fucking this guy, and he's against.
I know, a lot of it blurred to me because I watched a lot of the times I watched either half an episode or 2 back to back. So a lot is blurred.
I love
to
it.
me.
It's great. It's good.
Fuck, man. I don't know how we do that.
No, the thing is, it's such a
good. No, it's
Joe.
such
Go to
a
the
good
other room.
surprise.
Fine, I gotta pee.
No.
anyway.
No, I'm just playing with you.
No, I really do gotta pee.
Oh.
So, okay.
So overall thoughts, and then we'll get to the really nitty gritty.
I thought it was good. It's a little over the top for me, but I did enjoy it.
Okay, good. So you and I are more in the same camp.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but there's a lot in it that I was just a little. It just doesn't sit right with me. Maybe it's getting old, but it just I didn't need it. It was okay.
To me, there was a lot of. Okay, I loved it.
Yeah.
The dark, gritty, realism. This is all me, and Justin, you know that, and George too. But there's a lot of points where I'm just like, it went too far, and it felt like it was only going that far just in the sense of like, hey, get it? We're mature. So like the whole thing of like the rape, and then like really crazy murders, like the one that sticks out to me at the moment is besides Translucent is like Mesmer, and it's like, was that really necessary?
Yes.
So I don't know. A lot of the hyper violence felt just like gratuitous.
Look, we can do hyperviolence.
Right. It just felt gratuitous and unnecessary. So that's what really, really bugged me with a lot of some other things. But overall, I thought it was dope. I liked it a lot. A problem I had, and I told George, was like a lot of the characterizations for the tone of the show being, gritty, grounded, and realistic. A lot of the characters acted like what's the best way? Like ultra versions of those like caricatures.
Yeah.
So super weird.
Well, I mean, for me, the things I realize that this show is supposed to kind of show the dark side of the superheroes and
Right.
how, how they get up to the crazy shit. That's, and then the stuff with the beginning with the death of Robin and her being fucking blasted through by A-Train and stuff like that. Well, that wasn't that bad. And then later on stuff with Popclaw and all the shit she got up to. But I think where I finally was just like, I don't know if I need this, was like the scene where, you reveal that Butcher's wife was raped, and then she's going to have Homelander's baby. And then you see, like, the baby clawing its way out of her stomach.
Yeah,
and
and all blood.
I don't think I...
Yeah, but then you realize that wasn't real.
Well, but at the time, you don't get that till the very end of the show, though.
And I wonder even how much of that was real. So, and I was talking to George, I'm like, did the kid actually develop that fast? So, in those 3 hours that, in the room with Homelander, let's say it was the rape, and then she goes off to like this park bench, which is the last recording of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was sat there for 3 hours as well. So it's like, in that moment, is that when she's pregnant, and then she goes off back to the building?
I think that's when she's weighing out the NDA, where she's like, look, I have to figure out what I'm going to do, and I need their help to have this baby because it's going to be superpowered, but at the same time, I have to leave my entire life behind. So the idea of her sitting on
weighing
the
out
bench,
the NDA.
Yeah, they told her, if we help you, you have to sign an
Right,
NDA.
but when did they do that?
Oh, I would think that's them telling her and then her weighing her options, going, what do I do?
So you're saying
It's not shown. If that's what you're asking. It's not shown.
Right, I'm trying to piece together a timeline here. There's one footage of the Mallory footage.
Yeah.
Mallory shows Butcher. She goes into the office with Homelander. They're in there for 3 hours. She comes out, all disheveled and stuff. The only other footage we know is her sitting on the park bench. In between that, are you saying that's when she found out she's pregnant and they gave her the NDA?
No, I think that you're missing a timeline there.
Right.
I could have sworn Billy mentioned that she would come home and she wouldn't speak to him. And Billy got frustrated with that. And then later on, I think he might have mentioned it might have been a week or two, that her last known footage was her at the park bench. So I think, because just like that other show that we liked a lot, Game of Thrones, the timeline is not very well explained of how much time passes between certain scenes.
Okay. So it was only after her disappearance and Mallory comes into Butch's life, showing him that footage of her going in the room with Homelander explains the behavior.
Her behavior. So little complex. And
Okay, but it's really complex because it still doesn't answer my question. So, Justin, my point to George is, okay, so the baby develops really fast in the womb. Fine.
Supposedly.
Right, supposedly. So then how is it 8 years later in the ending, the kid is maybe 8 or 9?
I have
So
seen,
what, so after birth, he just ages normal?
I have seen or read books where they use that as just a mechanism for different species intermingling, where it'll develop faster in the womb, but it grows normal once it's born. The gestation period is different.
Okay.
So that's something that a lot of the things in this that I saw were things I've seen before, whether read in books or seen in anime or things like that, which I know, Kevin, you do have really no caring for.
Right.
So they didn't seem all that, out to me. And to your point of it, being like over the top to be over the top, the trailer shows you that with Robin being obliterated.
Right.
And then you get that in the first, 20 minutes of the
Dude,
first
it's
episode?
heinous.
Yeah. And then when they talk about it, it's like, I had a molar in my throat. A-Train talking about it. And all
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
fucked up.
So it
But
does set the tone.
But it also makes that whole breakdown scene behind A-Train, where A-Train's kind of breaking down and blaming Huey, kind of
Ridiculous.
yeah, because he's sitting there blaming him. You did this. It's like, no, you started this by killing my girlfriend and then not caring about it.
Right.
You
Not
know?
taking responsibility.
Yeah.
It's
And
just a whiny
but
crybaby.
then he's sitting there like, well, you killed Popcall. You killed Popcall. I was like, wait, who killed Popcall? Well, I did, but it's your fault. Like, you just reversed
He's like,
it.
oh, you made her a target. It's like, dude, you didn't have to kill her.
He's just being a whiny little, what's it called when they're privileged? He's
Right.
being a whiny little privileged bitch.
Right.
And that's his character the whole show, is a privileged asshole who does anything to keep his privilege, including not show Popclaw, including taking drugs. He plays to his character.
Right.
And I'm okay with it. Had no issue with it. Now, personally, I think, Huey should have done something about him. That's just me. I'm a
So
vengeful
you
asshole.
see, that's where I have a problem. That's my problem with the characterizations. Huey's okay when he kills Translucent, but then the guy that he's after, he won't kill him and he saves him in the end. And then to George's point, I get it. Maybe he had
He
some
grew.
kind of right. He grew as a character, but I'm sorry, he didn't grow. There was no lesson learned. He was surrounded by other people, the boys, who were okay to kill and killed because they're soups. We're human. They would kill us in a heartbeat, faster than a heartbeat actually. So we have to kill them first. So he wasn't around. He wasn't surrounded by people who would teach him that lesson.
Well,
So how did he learn that lesson if no one was around to have taught him that?
Mother's Milk kind of gave him Mother's Milk wasn't necessarily about the killing, but he was about bringing them down a peg, bringing order into it, because Mother Milk was about order.
Right, the whole thing about the price to pay.
Yeah, and who knows what other conversations.
Right, but Huey says that he's like, whatever the price is, I'll pay.
At that point in time. But then he, that's because he's heartbroken. The girl he loved died.
Dude,
His whole
it's months later.
Hey, some people
I
don't
don't know if
deal with grief.
did you pick that up, Justin?
Hmm.
The whole season is months.
Yeah.
It's a months-long period.
But you're using one line to say that, and I'm not 100%
Dude,
sure.
it's one line that's in the middle of the season.
I understand, but again, I'm not sure if that's...
So my evidence of the Joe, now that you're back from your pee break.
Yay.
So then my evidence of that the whole show is months long.
Yeah.
Is at the Believe Expo when Starlight tells her mom about like how things have been going with the Seven or whatever at Vault. She's like, oh, these last few months have been terrible. So that means at the middle point of the season, it's been months. So that means even more time continues to the finale. So that means the entire 8 episodes, it's maybe, I'm assuming, I'm throwing it out there, 4 to 6 months in the entire 8 episodes. And I feel, and it's funny because I'm such an advocate for give me shorter episodes. I like less episodes shorter seasons. That's what I meant. But I feel to get to those characterizations, understand those motives, understand those themes and lessons that are learned in these characters, I felt like I needed more episodes, man. Something there to have picked up like, okay, there's like a shining light, a twinkle in Huey's eye. Like I needed something more.
I felt like you got a little bit of that when he was with Starlight and everything, and how his life was starting to come back together. But I mean, yeah, essentially.
That's another one. They said they're like, oh, they've been banging for weeks, and we saw it once,
yeah.
and we're like, wait. It felt like they got like they banged, and then they blamed her, and then she was already outed from the seven, and then he gets outed from the boys.
I think where the confusion is kind of coming in though is in the first couple of episodes seem to one follows right after the other, where the last thing, the first episode leads into the second, which leads into the third, but eventually they start doing cuts where okay, after this episode's over, when they come back, it's been time.
Yeah.
And after this episode ends, it's been time.
And it's like jarring time, because if, like to George's point, if lessons have been learned, things have been talked about, or motivations have shifted, then we're not keeping track of that.
If you're talking about how Huey hasn't changed, but I would think the fact that, I mean, in the beginning, he's very much broken apart. He's lost his girlfriend. He's seeing his dead girlfriend everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out, I have to get justice for her. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he keeps seeing her everywhere. And then he meets Starlight, and once he meets Starlight, he stops seeing his dead girlfriend.
No, he still sees her.
Sees her one more time, and then that's it.
The bowling alley.
Yeah, that was it. That was the last time he saw
No,
her.
at the bar.
He sees her again.
Not
Okay,
the bar.
but it's not as much as it was before.
Yeah, because
It doesn't happen later. So the fact that he met Starlight and started dating Starlight has started to kind of change him again. And he's no longer who he was at the beginning
Out for
of the
vengeance.
show. Yeah, because he's now, but see, you've got the one side where you've got Butcher basically saying, we gotta use her and we gotta toss her. We can't get involved. But he's seeing the other side where it's like, no, she's not like the others.
Right.
She's actually normal and
Supers
she
are
wants,
different.
and then, yeah. So they're not all bad because he went into this saying, and especially being fucking told by Butcher, all supers are bad. We gotta fuck them before they fuck us. And then he's met Starlight, and he's like, well, no, wait a minute. They're not all bad. She's not that bad.
Right.
A little bit
So
of change.
that's where the change starts happening. So that's why, and then there's also the element of she's the one that takes out A-Train, and then it's like, well, you need to go. I'll take care of this, and he can't abandon her. Because he knows that they're going to fucking eat her alive.
Right.
Yeah.
So he stays,
Hell, first day there, and she already got a dick in the mouth.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, that was her choice.
Although I will say this, I do like
What?
A tuna in her mouth?
A tuna.
Oh, God.
I do like what happens to the Deep, though. I love how the Deep comes all the way to the end of that story. He's still in, what's it called?
Ohio.
And he's like, oh, so when do I go back? He's like, you're not going back.
The dolphin scene is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that, but also where he starts shaving.
The Britney scene.
Yeah.
Where he's shaving his head.
Well, he's shaving his legs, and he's like, well, and he starts doing the chest, and he starts doing the head too.
And he sits down.
But I think one of the more jarring scenes though is when he picks up the girl and brings the girl home. He's like, oh, I want to see the gills. And then,
to me, that was so strange to witness.
Well, it was him being sexually assaulted in a way.
yeah,
It was a full circle story for him. Because his was super like, this was a C plot.
His
It was so in the background.
yeah, it was just levity.
But I think he's going to be used more in season 2. Like maybe he'll go on a redemptive arc.
No,
Maybe
he
he'll
was
side-
just comedic relief. I hope he's not like on a redemptive arc either. I hope he keeps getting shitted on, because I kind of find it funny.
No, maybe start out with Forgive Him.
No,
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But the way it ended was, I gotta say, I didn't. That was pretty jarring for me. So
to me it was incredible, and I was ready for the season 2 already. Which thank God they're already
they're
filming.
started. Yeah,
And hopefully it'll be a little bit longer. I think it might have been only 8 episodes. It's such an odd number. Because they're like, hey, can we really make a series about this and make it
Yeah,
work?
even dude, this is the first time I'm ever asking. I want more episodes.
Yeah. Which means they did a good job. It's just, for the love of God, can shows start putting how much time has passed in between scenes? Or like episodes and stuff?
Or at least just like lines explaining that.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because Game of Thrones didn't have that and people got so confused. And then now this doesn't have that.
Especially with
and
the
it's
travel.
frustrating me. Yeah, with fast travel.
But I really like going back to the main conversation of the boys. I really like how they were all Justice League analogs, all of them.
Black Noir as
Right,
Batman
but then to the
analog.
point that Homelander, he uses that like as a persona,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a legitimate facade in the media, and he uses it as a weapon. To me, that's where it really scared me at that speech after the plane crash.
Yeah.
Dude, he uses the facade as a fucking weapon, and that really fucking scared me.
It was
After
terrifying.
he was really terrifying on that plane sequence.
Nicole's
I
in
will fucking leave
tears for the little girl. When the little girl, when
Dude.
he left her, Nicole's bawling.
Dude, I can't imagine that. You guys are newly
Yeah.
parents
I was like,
watching that.
I would be like, take him. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. Take him, fuck us, whatever.
But speaking of Black Noir, I love how he really has nothing to do.
Yeah, he just sits
except
there
be in
most
the
of the time.
background. But I love how how Homelander calls the group together. He's like, "Look, we've all been dropping the ball. Not you, Black Noir. You're great,
Great.
You're great. Keep it
I
up.
love the memes that came out of that.
Yeah.
And then at the end when they're at the party, which you haven't seen yet. I'm sorry,
No.
Joe.
No.
But it's the party, and then the guy's playing the piano, and then Black Noir sits down and stares him down
He
until he
starts laughing.
leaves. And he starts playing.
And he plays like Savant.
There's that one time, I think it's the flashback to the Christmas party, where it's the first time we see Becca. And Black Noir gets like a drink with a straw, and he just like sticks it like
Into his mask.
into his mask. And I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Did you guys notice that when the hors d'oeuvre tray passed by, he went to go grab one, they didn't even stop for him? It's like he just disappears into the shadow.
I love it. It's so fucking funny, man.
I hate that the lantern, I guess analog lamplighter is like, he retired. And I'm like, I kind of wanted to see what he would do, but I guess we might get a flashback in season 2.
Dude, if we get a flashback
To
of
the Mallory?
burning of Mallory's grandchildren, that's fucking savage.
And it's horrid.
And she said he burned her grandchildren so bad that there is not even teeth left.
Yeah.
That's fucking
That's how
crazy.
hot his flames burn. Lamplighter. What a name.
Good thing.
All their names were freaking ridiculous.
And I was telling George because like of course like talking about other characters and of course the level of attractiveness of all the girls. For me, it was Queen Maeve, man. I thought Queen Maeve was just so sexy.
Yeah,
that wig killed me.
And she was such an interesting character that we got like interesting characterizations of her of like how Starlight viewed her as a hero. People viewed her as like, oh, she's a symbol for women.
Right.
And then yet here Starlight is just sexually assaulted and she just like, whatever, give her a fucking tissue or whatever. She
Get
goes,
over it.
don't let them see you that way. Right,
Yeah,
get over
Get
it.
over it.
Yeah, suck it up.
Right. And then I like the explanation at the end where she's like, I used to care so much and then I started giving little bits and pieces of myself away to Vault to the point now where there's nothing more left of me.
Yeah.
And I fell for that. I was like, damn, that's awful.
And then the way Homelander speaks to her where it's he's like, you know, we used to be a great thing.
Right.
You know, we aren't, but if I ever lost you to anyone else, I'd kill you.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Dude.
and he says it while he's smiling by the crowd and everything, and it's like, this dude's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, you get to a point that's like, yo, that dude's a fucking psychopath.
Which is crazy because when Hugh is talking to Billy about the Seven, and he's naming off the things that they do, and Hugh's like, even Homelander? He's like, no, he's squeaky clean.
Yeah. It's like
And
no
it's
one
just-
knows. And I love how even towards the end, they're like, no one knows what's his weakness.
Yeah.
The only thing is like
The zinc.
the zinc, which is his vision, X-ray vision.
Yeah, but you get a little bit of it because he was all upset about the blanket. So that's got to mean something.
And then the whole thing with the lady, his agent. That little mommy moment.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they have
that's
a
resolved,
weird-
though.
When she started buckling her blouse, I fast forward. I was like, nope,
Nope.
not doing this.
That's
Too
just
speed.
weird.
That's
It's
mother's
a-
issue.
Yeah, I got to the part where he's like laying on her, but I was like, nope,
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
not.
it's weird, like mommy's sexual attention.
Well, because he was
And then they,
not raised the
well,
mother.
you're not. I'm not sure if you're there yet, Joe. It's like they even bang, and it's like, but it's like it's showing out that like that they've been doing that, like they've been having an affair and stuff
They
like
bang?
that. Yeah, like later on, it's like
Not an
it's super
affair.
weird.
I mean, I don't care.
But that it's a work affair. I don't know. They're keeping it a secret and they're having sex. It's an affair.
No, an affair is when you
Right,
cheat on someone
Right,
else.
he's not
Well,
cheating.
she's kind of cheating on if she has a husband.
No, she's
an
a single
independent
mom.
woman.
She's a single mom.
Oh,
He
she's a
says
single
it.
mom? Okay.
Independent woman. It's 2019.
I mean, we don't know who the fuck did that.
Because
into
I
that
thought,
baby.
because I gotta
In
tell you,
vitro.
I gotta tell you though, coming up to the end there, I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna find out that was
Me too.
Oh.
Homelander kid.
Yeah, I thought so. But no, okay. So it's not his kid.
no.
Okay.
Soups can't have kids except for
Right. Okay.
Now, see, another thing that wasn't explained is that all soups can't have children.
Yeah.
Huh.
They said that Soups can't have kids.
So then, technically, Homelander's kid is the first one born with powers.
Yes.
Ooh,
Which
Yeah,
is
because remember they're all
they're all
created.
they're all created. Yeah.
I love how they used him as a weapon.
the laser-eyed baby.
You know,
And
they-
then Billy just puts him back.
Dude, that moment I think is my favorite action moment.
I love what Billy says to him. It's like, if you ever turn into an asshole, I'll come after you.
Yeah, I'll come up. Yeah, he just like
but there was that you know that was he answered some fan question about that.
wait,
This
who?
is, Carl Urban,
Okay.
on his Twitter. They'd written him. He said, "Man, Butcher doesn't know how to handle kids." And then he responded with, "What? You point the kid at what? You aim, you fire, or whatever." It was pretty funny.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
See, to me, he stole the show early on, which I think we talked about on the podcast, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the halfway point and on, Anthony Starr is what became the show for me, man. Homelander, that dude. Once you realize that the facade is also a power or a weapon that he utilizes, that's it, bro. Like, to me, I started drooling at the seams of like, dude, give me more of him.
Every time he's in public,
Yeah,
just smiling and saying the most disgusting
bro,
shit.
when he waved and he's like, bunch of cocksuckers, bro.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard.
When he's about to be interviewed for the A-Train race,
Oh man,
and he lands, he's like, "Oh, cocksucker."
it's so
And then
good.
or when he's walking by, like, "You're the real hero, guys." Bullets are bouncing off of him. He's like, "Ah, fuck it." And he's just
Dude, but then that
Crazy.
moment at the end with Madeline, and he's like, tell me the truth. And she's like, the truth is I'm afraid of you. That's where it really clicks of like, the facade as a weapon is also part of
Yeah.
the power set and fear, man. It's
Well,
to
I
me,
mean,
it's so cool.
they mentioned it without being raised with their mothers, they turn into Batman.
Yeah, the atom bomb, what is it? What was the name of the Lang bomb? The fucking guy, the scientist.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't
his name.
remember his name, but he's like, yeah.
Here's what he said. He's like, somebody wrote to Carl Urban. Carl Urban has no understanding of how babies work at The Boys TV. That scene was rad, though. And then he responded, "Load baby, pointed at me, job done."
That's great.
That's fantastic. I love actors who actually respond to things.
I love the flashback showing him without the beard just to
Yeah.
show that time was different. I love that. I love those cool like little editing sheets.
And then they have him with a bunch of scars and everything in current time frame. In the
Yeah.
past, he's like super clean.
Clean,
Yeah.
yeah. No beard, nothing.
And I feel like his hair's a lot wilder, and I'm like, is that a wig?
Yeah, I guess it's because we see that one scene of him just wake up, eat, and leave.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just to show of like how disheveled he, even just like how careless he is.
Yeah.
And I think for you, George, your favorite was probably like Frenchie.
I hate you. You're right. Frenchie's the man. He has a tragic backstory. He's wise in a way that's unconventional. And, he cares.
And he could talk to the crazy Chinese chick.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one that could talk to her.
Well, because he takes the time, because he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
But how fucked up was it when they finally turn everything over to the FBI and then they have to make the deal with them? God, that was that.
But to me, it made sense because it was so funny, that coincidence, that timing of the discovery of super terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how like the way Butcher puts it is like they're even creating their own supervillains.
Yeah, you have to.
So they turn into Butcher's chick. They turn in all the info at the end to.
Well, they
the
turn
CIA,
it into where
that made
they
Russia.
go
Butcher was talking
after
to-
Vought and they tell them we have what is it? What's the drug called again?
The Compound V.
Compound V.
Right. The
So it's like we have this, we have everything, and then she gets called away in the middle of the interrogation of Elizabeth Shue's character of
Madeline.
Madeline,
Right.
and they're like they show the footage of the super terrorists, and they have to make a deal with them to put them on the into the military, and then she basically calls them all and says, "Look, we had to. Everything's still moving forward. We're still going to protect your families, but you fuckers are on your own."
You killed the
No, not even on your own. They're wanted felons.
Yeah,
they're burned
Oh,
110%.
the boys are done.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because
Nice.
the plan worked. You find out that Homelander
Has
had
been orchestrating.
A-Train distribute Compound V to
Everyone.
random terrorists all around the world.
Well,
So
it
now
was-
random bad guys are just superpowered.
and the female is the proof because she was supposed to be one of those.
Right.
She was a test subject.
She was a test subject, so she's the proof that
Starlight.
yeah.
No,
Kimiko.
Kimiko.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
her character's name is female.
Right.
So she was the proof because he even has. I mean, we're spoiling the last episode. For you, but
Whatever.
he has a whole soliloquy scene where he's telling Mallory how you just got this promotion, but it's basically because of what I did. I created supervillains so that they needed us. They needed to put us there
Right.
because you find out because she got them into the military. the 82nd floor now is looking at her, and they even introduced the one guy they keep saying, "Oh, fuck that guy," because he's never here.
Right.
Because it's Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh,
Gus
fuck.
Fring.
Yeah.
Wow.
From
So he
Breaking
comes
Bad.
down and basically tells her, "I want you to move your office up to the 82nd floor. And you need to shout at me."
Was it Eddie? Was it
Mr. Edgar.
Mr. Edgar?
Yeah.
Edgar is such a. It's such a powerful name. I've seen it as good guys and bad guys in different
Douchebag
books.
name.
But I thought I picked up. I don't know if it's another Breaking Bad reference where he's like, "Oh, I need someone to continue doing my job here while I go move to Belize." And I remember that being a Breaking Bad reference
Mm.
of how oh my god, Bob Odenkirk's character Saul.
Mhm.
So,
How the lawyer in Breaking Bad were always like, "Oh, like we're just gonna move to Belize," and then that was like code for like you're gonna kill him.
Mhm.
So I thought it was cool. But then what happens with Madeline at the end? It's like, okay, that means Gus Fring's gonna be the Mr. Edgar's gonna be the big bad.
Mm.
But man, to me, Homelander is taking the cake, man.
right.
And with that actor, again, I love Anthony Starr since Banshee. That actor he's putting such a crazy twist on that character.
If I ever see him smile, like just out in like the red carpet events and stuff like that, he's gonna make me shit my pants. Because I will never
When he
answer that
turns on all
smile.
those, when he turns on all those fucking plane, the passengers on the plane, I will burn all of you.
I will laser the fuck out of
Dude.
you. I'm like, shit.
Dude, I was watching that already late, and I was like, let me, get an episode in before I go to bed. I saw that. It fucking haunted me. That was so fucking terrifying to watch someone that powerful literally just about to use his laser vision on civilians.
Yeah, and that's always been the thing with Superman. It's like, why doesn't he use his laser vision all the time? It's like, oh, it's a little too powerful.
But I liked his explanation of Queen Maeve is like, well, go out and like lift the plane. And he goes, with what? I have nothing to balance like myself on. It's just thin air.
I can't lift up.
Right.
That.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, physics.
Grounded in reality.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Yeah, to me it was
So
so
he doesn't
cool.
have super strength.
Yes,
No,
he
he
does.
does.
When you lift something, you have to brace your feet.
Superman doesn't need that shit.
Well,
It's not neat. It's just that's completely fictional.
Right.
That's fucking fantasy land.
well, yeah. What
Well, no, he
Superman does
flies
is
up and he pushes up.
he increases his flight speed.
Right.
But then when you do that, he mentions that you can break through it.
That's true.
Because if you come too fast, you go
Very
through
true.
it and you don't
Very-
hold anything up.
Very true.
Which, it's again,
No,
physics.
no,
it's
no,
like,
no,
okay.
Yeah, but this is comics and fake. You can't.
Mm.
The boys
Can't break
try to be a little more grounded.
Superman would be as super heroic if he couldn't save a plane.
Right, exactly.
Something out of the sky, lift something into the sky.
I can't do anything. Oh my.
That's what Homelander did. And it was
Plus, it's
It was
easier
heartbreaking.
writing. Plus, it's easier writing going, and then he lifted this up into the air and flew it over here, rather than saying, "Oh, I can't do that, but I can try and drag it." Or it's just easier to write. He flew it over there.
nudge it with his like shoulder, just like keep pushing.
And he
it.
called Batman to bring the Batwing because it was actually more useful.
When she's like, "Oh, just grab a bunch and fly back," he's like, "Oh, grab 100 people and come back." No, I don't want to.
Yeah, he's like, what? Come back 143 times?
No.
Or just take the little girl. No, I don't like to do that.
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she
Yeah.
misses.
something, yeah.
Bro, and he says that out loud. He's just like, what? That's one alive that could say what we did here? And all the people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, start freaking out. Like, fuck, he's gonna leave us here.
Yeah, y'all fucks, bye.
I'm laughing now, but when I was watching, I was fucking terrified for
It was
the fucking
horrifying.
people. It was horrifying.
Man, it was-
And that's why it's really difficult to think that that's the scene that Amazon did not have removed.
Yeah, they were okay with it. Because it shows his character.
And he didn't even leave. He watched the plane go down.
Oh.
He could have just left. And he's like,
Yeah.
But had to make sure.
it was
Bro,
foregone that they're all dead.
the scene where he just powers through all that building of all the terrorists is fucking crazy, man.
You can see it
Just
on the
walks
army
in there,
face.
just laser the fucking out of everyone, and everyone's like being cut in half and shit. I'm like, oh god. And mind you, I like gore, but that was a little much.
Well,
So we all enjoyed The Boys.
It's great.
Joe will enjoy the last two episodes
Yeah,
soon.
I'll watch
and
it
then
tomorrow.
we'll,
You need to, man.
Yeah, I will watch it tomorrow. I'm on 7, so.
So,
Well, it's not 2. You just finished 7, and then you
Yeah,
got 8.
I'll watch 8. You good?
so that being said,
Do we know the release date for season 2?
no, not yet. It's being filmed right now.
it's in production.
So probably next year.
Yeah. They know people want it. People have been talking about it. So.
We'll wait a year.
It's hot. It'll probably be less than a year. It'll probably like early next year.
We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing.
Hopefully they bring back the director of the pilot episode, Dan Trachtenberg. Because to me, I love that he really set the tone for the rest of the show.
no other shots were like his.
Yeah, he did come back. He came back for...
Don't tell me it was that damn airplane episode.
No. Damn it. And I remember because I was watching it and I was like, that feels like Dan Trachtenberg, and I remember it was him. I can't remember which one he came
Was
back
it the
for.
warehouse one? Because that thing was dark and gritty.
It could be the warehouse one, or the one that's where they do the deal with the CIA, which is I think it's 7.
That was too bright.
Maybe I don't remember.
Either way, fantastic. Can't wait for it to come back.
Yeah.
I hope
No,
that...
he only directed the one.
Only pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Name of the game.
Damn. Well,
Well, I mean, whatever. He did set the tone for the rest of the show, so I guess everyone just mimicked that.
Yeah.
try to mimic
Try
that.
right.
They did their damn best. Hope we get more Frenchie and Kimiko in the next season.
How do we think of Simon? Oh my God, Simon
Simon
Pegg. I was thinking Kinberg twice. I was like, no, not the fucking X-Men franchise writer.
No, yeah. Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
Simon Pegg.
his character.
It was such a small role for him, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean what was it? The comic Arthur said that he wrote.
Yeah, he based
Huey's role.
Huey on Simon Pegg's
He based
likeness.
his look, yeah.
Yeah. So to have him as a dad, he said it was like really cool.
Well, Kripke, the show creator and showrunner, Eric Kripke, he directed the last episode.
Makes
So
sense.
And he also created Supernatural, so.
Cool. And that was dark as shit.
He created that show. He also created.
He's open to a lot of things.
Well, he's had his hands in a whole bunch of shit.
And I have to say, I kind of like Jack Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son as Huey. Jack Quaid was pretty good. Like, despite some of the writings of the character, but that's
Well, he did a really good
that's
job.
my own personal bias. I think the acting all around was really good.
I like him as an actor from other stuff, so I was okay with it.
The props to Erin Moriarty, who plays Annie. Oh my God, Starlight.
Right.
Because that character could have easily been done really cheesy.
Yeah.
And you get me? And like she added such a really good, grounded level of
An outsider looking in.
not also like goody two shoes. Like even Queen Maeve tells it like, "Oh, you're a goody two shoes asshole,"
Yeah.
and it's like that character could have been really fucking cheesy, and I really like the way she played it.
Like when she's like, the only thing she's guilty of being stupid.
Yeah.
You're a dumbass. She's
So-
just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Okay, so in the interest of winding down here, we all love the boys. Can't wait for the second season. We'll talk probably a little bit more about it next week when Joe's seen the last 2 episodes, so we can kind of give the final
Even more.
final thoughts. But we really dug the show. But moving on, we were going to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but we decided to record early this week, so some of us still haven't seen it.
George and I still haven't gone.
There's really not much to say until you guys have seen it, so I can't. There's nothing I can kind of
Makes sense, yeah, because you gave us your thoughts. If anything, you pitched it even more for us.
Well, that's the thing for me, and it's like anything else would just ruin it for you.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to do that. and more than that, I want you guys to tell me what you thought.
It's crazy. It's not what 2 weeks out, or we're still 1 week out.
No, you're 2. You're going on 3.
Two
Actually,
weeks,
I think we're 3, and you're going on 4.
2 weeks out, and people are already saying that it's easily within their top 3 or 5 Quentin Tarantino film. I find that really fucking difficult.
Well, I mean, it just depends on what movies you like of his. I mean,
Right.
I wouldn't say it's in my top 3 because
They're better ones.
but it's definitely one of the ones I like more than some of the others.
Wow.
Because I didn't really care for Hateful Eight, and I definitely don't like Kill Bill Volume 2. And even movies like Jackie Brown, which are still decent film, it just doesn't resonate with me as much as like Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill
Reservoir
Volume
Dogs.
1, Reservoir Dogs. I mean, Reservoir Dogs just started it all. I mean, that was the first introduction of that fucking way of Quentin Tarantino.
I still think that's my favorite.
I always gotta go with Pulp Fiction, man. Pulp Fiction was the one that put him on the fucking map.
A lot of people I was hearing, me and Joe's favorite of like the Collider Live people, Collider Video, on the YouTube channel. A lot of people were saying Inglourious Basterds was number 1. Yeah.
And Inglourious Basterds, another
And it's
movie.
great.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
To me, it's great, but it's one of those like it didn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a running theme.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's the way I feel about Hateful Eight. I think Hateful Eight's about 15 minutes too long.
It's long.
And for me, I mean, I think I've only seen the movie once or twice, but for me, the only scene that really stands out that I remember is just him destroying the guitar, just because I know the history behind the scene. So, and I love the look on Lara Flynn Boyle's face, because you could see her go, "What the fuck just happened?" And it's a real shot. It's a real, a reaction, not a fake one. So. But I mean, you haven't seen any of the Kill Bills, Kevin,
man.
so
Yeah, you can't. It's kind of hard for you.
To me, it's such like up there in my blacklist of movies that I cannot call myself a cinephile that if I haven't seen yet. And Kill Bill, both volumes are on there, and I still haven't even done Jackie Brown. I never saw True Romance. I've never gotten around to Hateful Eight, which is weird. Hateful Eight. And Quentin Tarantino was okay with the editing, is a mini-series on Netflix. So they added footage and broke it apart.
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's even longer now. Oh my god.
How weird is that? I've never heard of a movie being re-edited by the director and give it approval to be...
A miniseries? Like how many...
It's 4 episodes.
Wait a minute.
4 episodes an hour long?
Yeah.
So
So Tarantino re-edited it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, granted, it's not a miniseries, but Francis Ford Coppola did that with
With
Godfather. The Godfather saga. He re-edited Godfather and Godfather 2 so that all the stuff with De Niro when Vito's young happens at the beginning of the movie, and then it progresses into him being Marlon Brando and stuff like that, and then you get the stuff with Michael Corleone at the end.
Okay.
So
I want to watch that cut.
But that's on AMC like all the time.
But that's one of those like it's
saga.
But that's one of those that it's like a recut.
Yeah, but Coppola did it though. Is what I'm saying.
Right. But I meant in the sense of like it's still movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
I've never heard of something of a movie being broken apart intentionally by the director for it to play differently into like TV format.
Mm-hmm.
Hateful Eight is not. If you go to Netflix, Hateful Eight is 4 episodes.
For 1 hour or for like more than an hour?
I think 4 40 episodes.
For
4 40-minute episodes.
That's so long,
Yeah.
man. And that movie was long to begin.
Yeah, 40 or 50, something like that.
That one was pushing the 3-hour mark as well.
And I heard that one is just such a like script heavy, like it's just dialogue heavy.
Well, when you finally get around to watching, make sure you watch Volume 1 before you watch Volume 2.
Of course.
Because a lot of
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because a lot of people tend to watch Volume 2 first. I know, George, you said you did.
Yeah, I saw it on TNT.
And a friend of mine, his wife, she saw Volume 2 first before seeing Volume 1. And we always argue. It's like, oh, I like Volume 2 better. I'm like, oh my God. She saw it first. Of course you liked it better.
I'm not sure if seeing it first, because they're vastly different movies. That's why you don't like part 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of how different they are.
Well, to me, the movie was sold to me, before the first one came out, the movie was sold to me as being one long movie split into 2 movies. And if you're going to tell me that they're one long movie, then in the middle of the one long movie, it becomes a completely different movie. You know?
Tarantino considers it one film.
And he's even got it. It's called The Whole Bloody Affair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. When he's listing like, at 10 movies directed and written, he's retiring. He counts the Kill Bill as one.
Well, imagine a movie where, if it's supposed to be one movie, imagine a movie where the whole first half of the movie is just action-packed, heavy, and then the last half just drops all the action.
Yeah.
I could think of something similar to that, but then it's just re-edits. World War Z. Where it's like this crazy high-octane zombie thriller, and then the last, 40 minutes is just, really slow, meandering zombie drama.
Never saw it.
It was interesting.
Better.
Interesting. The book is better.
Well, the book has nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
Just kind of share the title.
Right. It's interviews of everyone who survived the event.
Their stories of
the movie is just the event. Yeah. And then even then, the movie is the event of people who weren't even characters from the book.
It was just the idea.
Right.
Well, I mean, in the book, they try to illustrate the apocalypse and what happens to people. Because there's a whole thing where they're talking about how private security, in the book rather, how private security is protecting this one compound for rich people who've kind of brought all their friends in to kind of stay, and then all of a sudden the walls get attacked and they overrun, and you're thinking, oh my god, the zombies are in it. It's not, it's regular people. Because of the zombie attacks, they know that they can be safe inside these walls. So, that whole vignette in the book is just crazy.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty
that
good.
and then the Blind Monk.
Yeah.
Book of Eli style.
No.
So, well, hopefully, we'll be able to give you Once Upon a Time in Hollywood next week. But again, we're not going to promise because we said we'd do it this week and we can't do it this week. So, be prepared just in case. But I think we're going to end it there. I need to leave, so I'm going to cut us off early. We're not going to go 2 hours. Sorry, guys.
So do you.
But
all like 2 audience members are like clapping.
yeah, it's like, oh, thank
Finally.
God. I don't want to listen to these people anymore.
They probably break us up into like 3 half-hour segments.
Yeah, I would.
So we're gonna call it now. Tune in next week. Hopefully, we'll be able to review. We'll definitely review Absolute Carnage #1. We'll be reviewing probably Powers 10 #2. Probably, I say probably as if it's
100%.
not gonna, yeah, that's gonna happen. And then whatever else we decide we want to review. So tune in next week. Let us know. Give us a review on all social media, and we'll see you next week.
Rogue out.
There you go.